Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gyle here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. I've got some custom 4v4 Average Joe's action coming away this afternoon, chaps, on a map that I've never casted on before, no less, so very excited about that. First of all, a couple of messages. Guys, huge thank you to those of you who have made donations into the channel. I really appreciate it. I shan't name names because I know some of you don't want to be identified, but it really does go a long way to helping to support me in my endeavours, so thank you very much for that. Secondly, a quick message coming in from Tokito. He got in touch with me yesterday to ask if I could mention about the extension to the WWPC that he is running. That's the Worldwide People's Championship tourney. Formerly obviously TA's baby, but has recently been taken over by Lexi and a few others, and what Taquito is doing is he's reintroducing the 2v2 section of the tourney, and I should have a link in the description below this video to the forum post and the sign-ups, and if it's not there, you know what to do. Just have a go at me and I shall make it. So anyway, those are the messages. It's going to be an Average Joe's 4v4, like I said. I am on the lookout for an epic, guys. I know there have been lots of people asking if I could get one of those in play. I would very much like to bring you one, but they are few and far between, basically. I have spent so much time looking for one. I haven't as yet found one. I don't want to bring you something that's substandard, so as soon as I get a decent epic, I will bring one your way, I promise. But in the meantime, I hope this shall suffice. Let's go on over to the game zone and see how these guys are going to get on. So check this out. Corporation Small. No points on the name for this map. We'll call this Team 1 up here at the top and this Team 2 down here at the bottom. We'll take a look at the map in just a second. Going first for Team 1 over here on the left. He's going Aeon, dressed in last night's curry colours, and it's called Iconics, and he's going first land. To his right, team member number 2 for Team 1, it's Front Collar. He's going Seraphim in Ferrari Red, opening first land. To his right, in Mellow Yellow, we have Stumpf, and he's going Aeon, opening first land. And last but not least, in Electric Blue, it's Psycho Barb, and he's going UEF, opening first land. So that's Team 1. Let's take a look at Team 2. Down here at the bottom, going first for Team 2, it's IWRS2, or Iris, as I'm going to be referring to him in this match. He's going UEF, opening first land. To his left down here, it's my good friend GFY's Depony, also going UEF in Hallyborange Orange, opening first land. Over here to his left, it's Hodge Joke, also going UEF in Pontiff White, and he's going first land. And last but not least for Team 2, going UEF, so it's a UEF clean sweep for Team 2, and I shall be trying not to let that affect my judgment throughout the cast. All objective here with no bias towards one team or another. It's Thunder Fury in Lurid Green, opening first land. So it's all land for Team 1 and Team 2, so no early air play coming into action here. A couple of fracas happening over there on the left. Before we take a look at the action, let's take a look at the map. It's a very linear map with 3 main channels running down the center and off-center of the map, and of course little valleys and gullies for opportunities to flank, but essentially you expect a very vertical game here, with the most of the combat sort of focusing in these areas, I would imagine. But let's just wait and see. Decent amounts of reclaim. You can see, getting far enough to see the rocks appear there. Tons of reclaim. Definitely worth getting your comms towards the center on that, as Psycho Barb is doing there, coming right to the center. A couple of NGs picking up stuff there for Iris, but they're likely to get blapped soon. Meanwhile, over in the west, Icononyx has brought his commander forward, and it looks like Front Collar is also doing the same. Team 2 a little bit slower to move forward there on the left. We do have Hodge Joke moving forward, but for the moment Thunder Fury seems happy and stationary in his base. Actually looks like he's gone to make a cup of coffee, but never mind. It's not important. It's just reclaim. You'll be fine there. I'm sure it won't affect the game. We'll see how that affects the opening there for Team 2. Meanwhile, over in the east, Depony and Iris now moving forward as well. I'm wondering if Psycho Bob's early move will get him any advantage here. He starts a land factory, but decides he wants to do a little bit more reclaim before he finishes that off. I'm wondering who has actually placed that. It's whether he's placed it. Interesting if he's decided to throw another one down before just finishing that forward one. But now we finally have Stumpf moving forward as well. Snoop in play there for Psycho Bob, so he'll be well aware that he's got something moving in, and that is GFY's Depony's ACU that is quickly blaps that Snoop out of existence and makes his way towards the central mass field. It is 2v1 for the moment, but Iris coming in quickly from behind. Team 1 going to focus on constructing that land factory. That pops into the yellows, going to reach around 50% of the HP, and then Psychobob decides, actually, you know what, let's get involved with a little bit of con stomping. Pony much more interested in the mass in the area, thinks Iris can handle it, it's fine, and then finally decides to start focusing on the other ACUs. Meanwhile, over in the west, Hodgejoke throws down a plasma cannon. So it was looking very much like Team 1 were going to secure this early, but they've held back, and that's because they're throwing upgrades on their commanders. Front Collar already has an upgrade on that ACU, I believe, by the look of it. Indeed he has. He's got the gun upgrade there. And now he's helping his teammate get one as well. So yielding the floor in the center initially in order to get those upgrades on the commanders, and then presumably moving in to take it. But Iris now down well into the yellow, 5,500 hit points on him, and he's going to have to back up. He has got a couple of reinforcements coming in, but the pony left to his own devices has scooped around about 1,200 mass so far. You turn into perspective with Psycho Bob, who got there first. He's on around 1,100. So Tony just getting ahead there, using his HP as a bit of a buffer to presumably pour all of that mass into mechs upgrades. You can see he's busy upgrading his eco into the back. But now we've got some action rolling out in the west. Front Collar using that extra range and rate of fire to tear apart those forward units. Hodgejoke's going to throw in an ACU upgrade on his commander. What did Stump go for? Go for T2? I think he did. It's not Stump at all, that's why, that's Iconics, but I don't think he did go for it. He also went for one of the gun upgrades, which increases the rate of fire. And that has dislodged Hodgejoke from that position. He actually managed to complete the upgrade. Is the question, was he forced to cancel it? He was forced to cancel, so that is a waste of mass. He's also lost that forward position, that forward unit of PD. So nice work there from Team 1. And it looks like they've got control of the mass field over in the east as well. The Pony and Iris forced to back up. Not a good start here for Team 2. Still throwing an upgrade on his commando. Psycho Bob repairs that factory and starts assisting it, putting some build capacity out there. You can imagine want to start turtling up to secure the center of the map as best as possible. Thunder Fury taking some fire now as Front Collar and Iconics advance. Charge takes out one of the 3 units of PD, and that's a little bit of unnecessary turtling there. Not sure how that really helps Team 2, but Thunder Fury bringing up the rear here and evening out the global ranking advantage that the Pony gives Team 2. Thunder Fury sitting on just 200 global rating, so expect slightly erratic decisions here and there. Joke getting a bit of assistance here. That is a chunky gun upgrade popping up on the commander. And the Ponies managed to skirt in around the side of the front line there with group of strikers. Pings going down as Team 1 recognises the threats. Auroras move in. Should be enough to deal with that. Pony not going to get any traction with that little attack. Bit of side skirting here from Iris. Probing the defences, looking for some kind of weakness. Looks like he's finding it for the moment. Moni throwing together lots more T1 P-gens, housing for a factory of some description. And still yet to see much air on the field. A little bit over here. Air factory in play there for Hodge. And we do have air factories around. A whole bunch of scout planes over here, but no real commitment, no tech certainly. In fact, we still get to see any tech on the ground. There is one T2 HQ down here for Depony. But I'm not seeing any other T2 land factories anywhere on this one so far. A lot of the action focused up front with the commanders. It's going to be a very PD heavy game, I would imagine, with the amount of UEF in play. Psycho Bob doing a good job there of bringing down that shield gen. So that's what the housing was for. It was for a shield generator rather than a factory. Pony wheeling right with a bunch of his strikers, trying to surround these two commanders. 7,000 HP on Stump and 8,200 on Psycho Bob. They deal with it pretty well though. It's not a bad little reclaim field emerging there. They can hold control of that. Help pile of pressure on Team 2. Moving forward and picking off odd unit. Now we've got Oblivion turrets up as well in the center. So the PD war ensues. Very much a more fluid game over in the east. The west seems pretty sedentary now. Units of PD emerging from both sides. There's that last push from Psycho Bob and Stump has broken down this secondary fortification, and the Pony and Iris really looking like they could be in trouble. Once again try to form a secondary line, and they have got 3 triads in play there already, so that's going to be a tougher line for Team 1 to break. And now we're getting the first T2 units rolling up towards the front line for Depony. 5 Mongoose arrive on the scene. Rocket barrage invaluable at softening up front lines. Still very little commitment to the air game at all. Taking a look at how things stand on the mass side though, Depony, while giving ground up front, has been ecoing like a boss. 62 mass, which far outstrips all of the second and third places. We've got 30, 33, 35, 38. But Depony comfortably out in the lead. And with him having tech already in play, definitely not out of this one yet, despite giving up early ground. Transition to T2 complete for Psycho Bob. That forward factory converted into an HQ. Starting to produce flapjacks, get some mobile missile launchers up front. One planning the next phase, next assault on the front line. Bob probing an attack down the centre. It's interesting actually, Team 2 made no real commitment to turtle up this section. Stark contrast to the front line up here from Stumpf, who, despite not having been tested, has decided to seal off that central canal. More upgrades going on down here for Thunder Fury. Now we're seeing mobile missile launchers brought into play. Team 2 gonna have to start thinking about getting some tactical missile defense out, and now we've got some mass sniping going on from Team 1. Where is that? Ah, it's commander base backpack missiles. So Iris losing mass out very quickly indeed, has just one core mass point remaining, and that's already 8% on the way to T3. He's not going to want to lose that. Pony has some buzzkills in play now. Will it be enough to stop those backpack missiles? That's the question. In come the Mongoose, prioritizing the flapjacks. Bob wisely going to draw those backwards. And the Pony has been mass sniped as well. He's lost some core mechs. Just the one for the moment. But the TMDs should keep him safe from any more of that. It's a good little investment from Psycho Bob, stalling the expansion of the Pony and really hampering Iris on his mass front. Just down to 25 mass per tick. Meanwhile, engagement going on up front. Hodge decides to test this front line. Pony coming in to support from the east. Bit of camera work fail there as a mounted gets in the way. Instead, Hodge decides to continue on through to the east side of the map. Psycho Bob and Stumpf, while not with a huge amount of support, do have very healthy looking commanders. In fact, Psycho Bob sitting on 18,000 hit points on that comm. 15.5 minutes gone in this one. Collar and Icononyx looking pretty comfortable in the west. Base defended by shields. And no real pressing threat coming up from Team 2. But look at this, a sneak attack coming down the left-hand side of the map. The hydrocarbon already taken out. It's good work from Icononyx. Units were on the front line there for Thunder Fury have been pulled back to deal with it. Mechs being eliminated. That is mass. Thunder Fury cannot afford to lose. Once again, more probing attacks from Pony's Mongoose. Gotta keep dancing back and forth though, those ACUs. Have any problems with dealing with that in a straight up fight. A few overcharges, that'll be the end of that. Now this time it's the flapjacks from Depony that are softening up the opposition. PG static game, this one. We do have some gunships finally on the field, so dance with T2 air there from Hodge, who's decided to mix things up, and I think that's what Team 2 need right now. We've also got some T2 air in the field from Front Collar, those Notha Seraphim fighter bombers in play, and that is also a T3 land factory at the back there for Front Collar. Start seeing NGs, T3 NGs up front from him. How are we doing on tech for Depony? Well, it's headquarters still sitting at T2 and not currently on the upgrade, so very much Front Collar leading the way in tech at the moment in this one. And he's even got Othams rolling up to the front line. That could spell disaster for Team 2 down here in the west. Not the hardiest of front lines in play. You've got, well, got about a couple of triads, attack missile launcher, a clink hammer. Start getting any sizable quantity of T3 in the mix. Plus a couple of upgraded commanders should be able to brush that aside with relative ease. Well, it does actually seem that Team 1 are yielding a bit of ground here to what is essentially just Depony. Depony doing excellent work on here, really using that colossal mass advantage. He's built up 92 per tick at the moment, compared to his next highest opponent, which is Icononyx on the other side. He's used that mass very wisely indeed. Now a lot of ranged pressure coming in from him. Psycho Bob is sitting at around about 65-70% HP. Still 14k hit points in total though. Our buzzkills being thrown together, but they're just not enough to contend with the fire of the Flapjacks, and the Pony also with a couple of Ravagers in, and it looks like he's going for a Ravager creep. So rather than go for T3 early on at the factory, he's gone for T3 upgrade on the commander and is going to creep his way further up the field with those Ravagers. So much firepower on that, and it looks like Team 1 could be thinking about yielding a little bit of territory in the center there in order to save units. Little push coming down the center. Meanwhile, from Front Collar, Bolshevers making their way in. They're going to meet a whole bunch of Team 1 as well as Hodge's ACU. Really thankful he's got that in the area. Going to need that overcharge. Nice work there, taking 2 of them out, leaving just 3 pretty badly damaged ones slightly further to the east. And Spam contains the threat very nicely indeed. So good work there. No major casualties. T2 done on comm there from Iris, and the creep continues. Look at this, Pony just storming his way up the field, building shield gens just about the limit as far as power goes, at least when he's building something. That Ravager fire paving the way for a column of pillars. Roll up the center. Now all this build capacity under threat, supporting that forward T3, and that is actually the HQ. Psycho Bob has plowed mass into that, converted it to T3. He's got Percival's on the way, but he does not want to lose it. To lose that now would be absolutely critical for the battle on this side of the map. The problem is that the Pony looks like he could be in range now, and he is. That forward Ravager can hit that factory as well as the flapjacks. And in come those gunships. We saw those stingers a little bit earlier there from Hodge, and they're going to prioritize Stump, who's on an upgrade and completely stationary for the moment. He cancels it, so wasted resources there. Is there anything on the field in terms of air to support the commander, who is ailing very badly indeed? He goes down into the red. The interceptors come in from Icononyx, but it's going to be too little too late, I think, as he drops below 1,000 hit points, and the first con kill will go to Team 2. Team 1 loses Stump at 23 minutes and 25 seconds. Completely transforming this game in the last couple of minutes. That's great work from Team 2. Still under pressure up front though on the west, but at least they can breathe a little bit easier now. That really will open up the center and the right hand side of the map, which is already ailing very badly indeed. Psycho Bob lost that T3 HQ and is now being forced to retreat in the face of overwhelming T3 Ravager fire from Pony. Very nice work indeed. Harbingers making their way up from Icononyx, so he's transitioned into T3. So we're getting a bit of a wheeling effect going on here. Lots of long-range firepower up front from the Suthanus, the T3 Mobile Arty there from front collar, and of course all these Easers, the mobile missile launchers there for Seraphim, and it's not going to be too long, I think, before that forward shield is going to be broken down, and all of those stationary emplacements are going to be under threat. Thunder Fury moving his comm around onto plateau up here, probably wanting to get in and overcharge those Harbingers, maybe try and take back that mass point. But there's a worrying build-up of forces here from front collar up front. They take down the defenses. There's really not much stopping them from rolling forward. Psycho Bob, meanwhile, looking pretty healthy on his commander. 2,500 hit points. Doesn't want to stray any further forward than that, though. Those Ravagers picking out far too much damage. Taking him into the yellow far too easily. And astonishingly, real rush to reclaim what's left of Stump's base. One lone engine coming in there from Psycho Bob. To be honest, doesn't have a lot of build capacity left. Could be putting better use of those engineers in the center to better use, but currently paying attention to that facet of the game, concerned primarily probably with the health of his ACU. And there goes the last few structures up front on the western approach there for Team 2. So major breakthrough on the way, I feel, for them. Pony is going to need to make it count if he's really going to earn anything from this push on the right. He needs to complete it before the conquest of the left is completed by Team 1. Pony, remember, still quite light on the ground in terms of troops. A few demolishers there, stinging at range, but no sort of direct ground-based threat in the shape of any Percivals. Psycho Bob congratulating his opponents there with their play. And what have we got going on here? Is that mass sniping coming in from Team 2? I think it is. Where's that coming from exactly? Well, we've got a few TAC missile launchers down there. So front collar has taken a bit of a hit on the mass front. So that's good work from Team 2. Not forgetting about the next threat. Already working on exploiting Stump's departure in the game and the gap in the defenses. Psycho Bob moving forward with his commander again, eating a whole load of Ravager fire, taking the opportunity to overcharge, concentrating clumps of Deponi's build capacity there. 114 kills on that commander, but boy, he needs to be really careful, eating lots and lots of fire, and that could be done for him as Thunder Fury brings in a fresh group of Stingers. 2,500 HP left on the comm. Is there anything left on the field that can deal with them? Doesn't look like it. Front Collar dispatches a couple of knockers to help, but it's not going to be enough. Psycho Bob goes down almost bang on 29 minutes, and now Team 1 face a very uphill struggle indeed. And Deponi out of nowhere has thrown together a horde of Titans. She's stationed out in the west to try and halt any potential advance from Team 1. Front Collar spamming together any Thota as quickly as they can. But really, time is of the essence here. They're going to be kicking themselves they haven't dealt with this threat. They've been weaker on the ground here all game, Team 2, on this side of the map. And because of the amount of time it's taken Collar and Icononyx to complete the conquest of this side, Team 2 now have a radical advantage as the pony storms up this side of the map with build capacity looking to reclaim and expand into their former teammates' base. Titans coming over the ridge, looking to flank that forward position. And the Thota is completed. Now, where's he taking it? Straight down the middle. Not a bad decision. Thunder Fury working on a shielded section of the base at the back there, but in fact I think you just want to leave it, cut your losses and run. You're not going to be able to do anything against that Thota. Titans moving up around the left hand side of the map there from Pony. Harbingers trying to shadow their movements, but the Titans got a real jump on them. In fact, it looks like they're going to get into Icononyx's base. We're really going to want to keep track on these two engagements as the chicken makes its way in there. In fact, he's not even worried about the base. It looks like Front Collar wanting to chase down the two ACUs that are incredibly close in proximity to one another. Hodge Joke has got a command to load up on the transport at the back. Needs to be really careful though, because Icononyx is there with all of those interceptors. Strap Bomber overhead trying to deal with the chicken. Hodge Joke loads up on the transport, but that's a terrible decision as the interceptors pluck it out of the sky. Thunder Fury in trouble as well. He's on just 3,200 HP. The chicken really is making a mess of things, but I think he was temporarily blinded by the Nova explosion of the commander there. Thunder Fury survives astonishingly deep into the red, 3,600 hit points and climbing, but there goes Hodge. Good work from him, and the pony skirted through with those. Fortunately for Icononyx, they weren't Percy's. Titans have the speed but lack the punching power of their colleagues in T3. Ignore the steam ping. But there we go. Still a few Titans alive. To make a mess of some build capacity that's been left there. But astonishing work from Thunder Fury, able to stay alive there, and with a little bit of luck as well. However, I could have spoken too soon. There's a horde of Othans coming down the western approach from front collar. Thunder Fury into the yellow, but still only 5.5k on board. Already anchored up, shored up that central approach, but battle losing cohesion now. Lots of T1 coming around the ridge from the top. Pony's completed a Fat Boy that's moving on the central position there for Team 1. Another Ithota under construction, albeit very slowly, but Thunder Fury getting caught down there at the bottom, and finally he gets snagged as well. So in terms of players, it has evened up, but it's far from even on the face of things. If you look at the mass differential, just 20 mass coming in there from front collar. That must be power issues. Indeed it is. Needs to rectify that immediately. I think it's fair to say, even when he does, there's still going to be a pretty significant advantage there for Team 2. Depony well and truly set up in Psycho Bob's old base. He's also bagged tons of reclaim, 48,000, and climbing. Front collar, by contrast, on just 15. Icononyx on 10, and Iris on 2. So this is a real uphill battle now for Team 1, having looked so strong in the opening 10 minutes or so. Now firmly on the back foot. Managed to even it up, but just a little bit too late. As a result, haven't been able to expand into these vacant positions down here, and in fact, getting tied up now in the central fortification as the Fat Boy comes in from the east, and Depony already in place with build capacity, though not working on that new base as yet. Chicken going to complete. It's going to be close, but lots of build capacity getting shredded by that artillery coming in from the Fat Boy. Hard to tell how much is left on that. In fact, we can see very little. It's taken a lot of damage while being constructed. It's going to be close. Icononyx standing his ground, manages to complete it, but the Fat Boy at quite sizable distance from the Chicken. It's going to be relatively safe. Have to worry about getting killed, and in fact the Chicken is just trying to make it out of there, trying to find some way to stay alive. 24,000 hit points left in it. Runs into 4 Percys. Increase out of firepower being brought to bear on that Chicken. That is going to be the end of that, and I hate to say it, quite possibly the end of the game. Front Collar and Icononyx backing up towards their main base. That really does represent the end of that major fortification that has stood the test of time in the center there, and Depony's little T1 attack rolling in around the back here has strolled through Front Collar's base, and now all of these Lobos just going after the Eruptors in the center for the moment. Astonishingly cost-effective T1 artillery are throughout the game. You know my feelings on it. ACU's backed up towards the main base. That boy able to move in and eradicate what's left of the old forward position. Down goes another T2 P-Gen there for Icononyx. Attempts at a breakout though from Front Collar. Don't want to give up just yet. lot of fire from those plasma cannons, but eventually gets enough around them with those Ilshavas to take them down. A minor victory there for Team 1, but not anything that's going to swing the tide in this game, I shouldn't think. Front collar now facing a lot of fire from the pony, and I didn't even see these Percivals. Boom, baby! Lying in wait amongst the ruins of their old base. Down goes front collar, leaving just Icononyx to his inevitable doom. Excellent play there from the pony. I won't say it's all because the whole team took UEF. I'll let you draw your own conclusions from that. And Icononyx walking to his doom valiantly with a sense of mental illness. Gets blapped in the face. GG indeed. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Little desync at the end there, but we won't worry about that. As always, more to come from me in the future, and I will promise that I will keep looking for that elusive first return epic to bring you. But in the meantime, as always, stay well and stay safe. This is Gyle, signing out.